Hello, I'm Aubrey Shepherd, and it's the 27th of April 2015. Well, there's a spider on some grass, and you can see I held it in my fingers. It was a tiny spider. Here's an iris, a white iris, and it had rained that day, and I just had to have a close-up of that baby. Here's Jacob's ladder. This is a well-known flower, grows quite well in the shade in the early spring, and it is beautiful and tiny. And here is a white larkspur. Larkspurs in the Delphinium family, and this is one of the smallest ones. It's really very tiny. It also grows in the woodland. I think I had a picture of this a couple of weeks ago from another place. This is on World Peace Wetland Prairie. This is a red buckeye that was not in bloom on Earth Day. This is Lonicera sempervirens, and it's growing in many places in bloom right now in South Fayetteville, Arkansas, including this new spot I noticed, and it's in South Fayetteville neighborhood. Okay, a couple of butterflies that were both landing in my backyard and got my attention, and I kept on. They'd fly around up together, but it's two different species, but they interacted a lot. They're both species, I can't name it at this moment, but they are ones that depend on tree foliage to feed their caterpillars. That's why they're always early. They come around World Peace Wetland Prairie inside my yard. Two young ladies who live in my neighborhood, I'm not naming them, but they can tag themselves. At least they can on Facebook where I have their picture, but they are very wise on native plants and such. And that is the Tupelo gum tree planted from last fall, I guess, sometime there after the tree giveaway. And these came from South Louisiana up here, thanks to one of our longtime friends in city and county government and state government. That's a burrowing crawfish hiding his eyes from me at least, on World Peace Wetland Prairie, made on Sunday the 26th. This is Oxalis violaceae. You see the leaves look like, the foliage looks like it might be some kind of, whatchamacallit. Anyway, you see how the leaves fold together and they have this extra color on there. This is something you can tell that it's not just a common thing that grows in everybody's yard. So I called it, till I looked up the name, folding leaf pink flower. Here's a grasshopper, a tiny grasshopper up close on a buttercup, and these are out on that one. Those few there from out on Pinnacle Wet Prairie, just west of World Peace Wetland Prairie. Now here's another one of the, another larkspur, and here is May apple. If John Rule had made it today, he would have told you it was Pitophyllum peltatum. And last week, or in another thing coming up, we'll show his earlier photos of the same bloom out at his land. This is inside the city of Fayetteville. May apple, and you can see that little form. See how there are two stems? There are lots of these plants in every area you find them, but there may only be one in a grove of them that actually makes a flower, which is rare, and it's hidden under there. So you got to kind of look under the skirt to find it. Okay, trillium, we've been showing you trillium for weeks. Here's a tan moth, and I just had to talk about that one a little. See ya. Hello, I'm Aubrey Shepherd. Well, these photos we're showing on the 27th of April 2015, but they're actually made several days earlier. This was Dr. James, Dr. Doug James, the botanist, and his wife, Elizabeth, and they were at a gala celebration for Mount Kessler, to raise money for Mount Kessler. See that young man in the yellow shirt there? That's Mitchell Pruitt. He's gotten really tall since he was a high school senior and first met him in Fayetteville. And he's a great expert on birds. Here's one of my longtime friends, Dick. Has been a worker for the park department for years, and he knows these plants, and he worked for urban forestry for so long. But anyway, you can see a lot of people you may know, and if we had longer to look at these pictures, you could pick out a lot of individuals taken from up above, and I won't attempt to tell you the names of all of them in these pictures. But there's Sarah Lewis and her husband. She's a former member of the Fayetteville City Council and also a great environmental enthusiast. And let's see, well, I can name a couple, but okay. There's in the white shirt toward the right, that's Diana Jordan. There she is, Mayor Lionel Jordan's wife. And the mayor's talking with a lady whose back's to us. But they were there, and oh gosh, he was at so many places. Every weekend he does that. There's a few people at a couple of ladies at the senior center who I'm really not sure I'd seen before. This was one of the many, many spiderwort plants, but actually this is two. They weren't growing off the same stem. It's just nature. They were growing so close together it appeared they were, so I took the picture and said, great, two colors in one. This is a legume, a member of the pea family, and peas and beans look like flowers look that way. Now this view down Southeast Avenue, they're building finishing the last house on an infill lot there. MLK's behind you. And just so many days they've had that street blocked. You know, you start to turn there, and uh-oh, like the guys in the street, they're waiting for the truck to get out of the way so they can pass. And that's one of the bad things about infill. I'm always saying the city should require people to be able to build on the property they own, not block the street for more than a few minutes in doing things, and save some good soil on those lots for wildflowers and gardens, vegetable gardens. Mayor had a proclamation that he shared with the Sierra Club. It's announcing Earth Day in Fayetteville. There's Tom McKinney, longtime Sierra Club member. First met him in '74, I think, at a Sierra Club meeting in Fayetteville. He's still working at it. There's John Rule. He wasn't with us today. He's not with us today, but probably talk to him later. And there's Rob Leffler at left, and Tom McKinney at right, and the mayor. And Rob is also a major supporter of Sierra Club and other environmental efforts. And he actually teaches environmental law at the university. Cami English and her daughter. And Cami was, of course, this year she's chairman of the Sierra Club local chapter. And that's one of John Rule's photos that was planning to show last week that was also a Mayapple. And there's one he made out at his property of a beautiful, beautiful wildflower. Probably not native. Okay, this I think, let's see, it may be ground, ivy it may be called, but I think it's non-native. But most of these bulb things are not native, but this blue and the following white, yes, with those bell-shaped things. I forgot the name, but those are both native plants, just in the two different colors. Okay, this was, oh, guess what? I'll tell you next time. John Rule made that picture. See you.